Hello traders, welcome back to this video. My name is Anthony. So today is on Sunday, and as usual we do our analysis on Sundays. So sit back and make sure you learn something from this video. So kindly, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, kindly do so. Let me take this opportunity first of all to thank you, my viewers, to thank you guys for watching the content, for liking the content, and also for those who comment. I really appreciate. So you continue doing the same thing. That is the only thing, guys, that motivates me to keep going. So without further ado, let's kick off with our video. Now, before we analyze our market today, so if you watched our previous video on top-down analysis, we had some setups that we had some pairs that we did analysis, and we had some setups that uh, we had that we were expecting to play out. So, and I believe I had a setup on GJ. I believe I had a setup on GJ. Yeah, I think it was from 15 minutes time frame. I will just be quick and show you what we had. I think the setup was from here. So where we had this inducement here, and we had a break of structure down here. So we had marked this supply zone on top here. So we were expecting to sell from here. So, and you see very clearly that unfortunately market had other plans. So market was hunting for more liquidity before pushing to the downside. So you see, although this was a strong high, market swept this high, and you can see it struggled before clearing this high. So it pushed up, swept this high, and sold from here. But uh, although that setup did not play out, but during the same week on I think on Wednesday, yeah, on Wednesday, I shared my setups on my Telegram channel. But you guys, if you haven't joined the channel or the Telegram channel, you can find the link on the description of this video. You can join the group if you want to join. And let me say this disclaimer: I don't share signals there. Don't join in the name of waiting for signals. I don't share signals there, guys. So what I do, I only share my overviews, my analysis, what I'm expecting from the market. Then now from there, you make your choice on your own, whether to take the trade or not. So before you join the group, at least I thought it's good, at least I show you what we're expecting from the channel. So let me just take a time and go to that channel and show you what we had. Let me go for this week. Yeah, this was the setup on GPP JPY. This was what we are expecting. We are expecting to see a sell from here, but unfortunately market took us out from there, and we also had this setup on gold, a buy from here. By the way, let me say this: whenever I have a setup here for a buy, doesn't mean you have to wait for a market to come all the way there. Sometimes my market will fail to pull back to that point of interest. So it doesn't mean for that week you will not take a trade. No, you have to look for more setups, provided you are just following the direction. If we are, for example, here we were expecting to buy gold. So even if you fail to get a setup here, it doesn't mean uh the setup was the bias was wrong. No, but now you see the market continued to buy, never came back to this area. But if you get another continuation setup, you can still capitalize yourself on that. So the same here, although this setup did not play out, but the idea is we were looking for sales, so we should be looking for sales for that pair. Then on Wednesday, yeah, I think here on Wednesday, this is where the setup, I shared the setup. I said I'm watching for this pair to sell from here. So this was the area. The market swept inducement here, and you also saved liquidity here and went ahead and broke the structure. So I said I'll be watching the GBP JPY from here, and also I shared also the Euro JPY as sell from this demand zone, and you can see very clearly, and also shared this one on GBP USD. I said we should be waiting for a confirmation because we had the 2 points of interest. We had this and this, and we said here there is liquidity here, so you should be very careful and wait for confirmation. Now, you see, after sharing the overviews like that, so it's upon you to wait and see what the market will do once it gets to a point of interest. And you can see very clearly here, JPY reacted from the same point of interest. Later on here, you can see the GBP JPY reacted from the point of interest that I shared here. And you can see here, my first TP is always 1:3, and the market hit the TP and also went ahead and hit the full TP down here. I think it was almost 5R. We also had Euro JPY. It reacted from the same area, went ahead and hit the TP1 and also the TP2. So that was it. If you really want to join the group, you can join the channel, and let's learn and grow together. Now going back to our analysis, let me have a full screen like that. Daily time frame, as usual, we are going to start with the DXY. Here starting the DXY. So remember, on our previous analysis, we were expecting the DXY to come to this gap down here. We had this order block down here. That was our point of interest, because here we have a break of structure here. So although in a higher time frame, the daily time frame, we can't see a sweep of liquidity, but down here from the 4-hour time frame, we can see a sweep of liquidity. Let me go to 4-hour. We have this small inducement here, market swept liquidity, then went ahead and broke the structure. Even from the daily time frame, let me show you. You see here, we have a change of character. So we are expecting this eye to be targeted. This eye here is our buy side liquidity, so we expect it to be cleared out. Now, this week, we saw DXY sold, and currently it seems like it is reacting from a fair value gap from the daily time frame. You can see very clearly. Let me reduce this. We have a gap between the low of this candle and the high of this candle here. You see here we have a fair value gap. The market seems to be reacting from this fair value gap. If now we get a change of character towards the upside, now we should be looking for buys. Are you getting? Because the bias tells us we are bullish on the DXY, and the market reacted from this fair value gap, and we had this good reaction to the upside. So now what does that one tells us? It tells us we should be looking for sales on Euro USD and the GBP USD, because you know those are the pairs that I personally like to trade when it comes to dollar. Now we have our bias on the DXY. We know now we should be looking for buys if we get a change of character, because DXY, although it did not stop to this demand zone on another block from the daily time frame, although now the market might push down and come to this one, but if you get a change of character here, we don't have any reason but to take our buy trade. Now I have a setup on let me go to GBP USD because it's the cleanest of all, and it's the one that is going it's corresponding to what is happening on DXY. You see here we had a change of character, market reacted to this order block, and from there we started selling. Now here it's where we had up this break of structure. But now here on daily time frame, let me point out something. You see here, this is our last break of structure. After this, that is for this pullback to this order block. Here it's our last break of structure. Then we see this break of structure was very strong, guys, because it swept liquidity here. That's why you can see market faced a lot of challenge to break it. This is not a break of structure down here. This was a sweep of liquidity because this law was very strong. So market cannot just break it that easily without a fight. So, and here this is where we have a change of character. Now, uh, now this is our change of character down here. And we know very clearly when the market takes out the external liquidity, we expect the internal liquidity to be taken out. So, although now, looking at the higher time frame, that is the daily time frame, I have this point of interest above here. So I have to put that one into consideration. I have this extreme order block up here. And here I have two relative equal highs. Can you see this high and this high? So those are two relative equal highs, and we know that one is a liquidity. And if considering this break change of character here, the only liquidity I have is this I here. You see, this is our liquidity here. And this I never swept this I, that is from the higher time frame, that from the daily. But now if you go to the 4-hour time frame, remember we have to react to what the market is doing, but not what we are expecting. That is the difference, guys. Always react to what the market is telling you, but not what you think it will happen. Because to be honest and to be sure, no one knows what the market will do next. And we normally say market is always right. So don't force setups. Just react to what the market is telling you. Now here, we have this break of structure down here from the 4-hour time frame. We have this break of structure. And for remember, every time frame tells you a different story. For daily time frame, we never had any sweep of liquidity. But here on 4-hour time frame, we have this small inducement that was swept here. Then the market went ahead and broke the structure to the downside. So as at now, this is my strong high and this is my weak low. Until the market breaks this high, then this remains to be my protected high or my strong high, and this is my weak low. Remember, from the higher time frame, we are expecting this low to be taken out, considering this change of character. And there is no way market is going to break this low if it fails to break this low. So it's just a matter of common sense. We don't expect the market to break this low if it hasn't broken this low. So having this break of structure here, so I had marked a zone here. This zone, I think these are the zones that I've shown you from my Telegram channel. I had marked this zone here. We had this good order block here. Remember, we have liquidity. We had this liquidity here, and we also have this liquidity. So I knew this was a valid order block. But now this order block has not swept any liquidity. So that's why I emphasized on waiting for confirmation. Because also we have this order block that is sitting on the extreme area here, and this order block swept liquidity. So I knew very well this order block cannot be strong compared to this order block, because this order block swept liquidity from the left here before pushing to the downside. So still, I was expecting the market to come to this order block. But currently, it seems like the market is reacting from this fair value gap. If you look here, between the low of this candle and the high of this candle, you see there is a gap in between. And if you extend very clearly, you can see the market is reacting off of that fair value gap. So the idea here is, sometimes the market will fail to come to these zones that you are drawing. When you draw a zone into the chart, that one does not make any difference, guys. Remember, these are just boxes and lines that you are drawing on the chart. Market does not know whether you have drawn an order block here. I don't know whether you are getting. But those are just our ideas or our anticipation. We are expecting the market to come there because of the data that we have been collecting and the strategy that we use. We expect the market to react from there. But that one does not mean it's a must. It's a must for the market to come there. Are you getting? Now, my biggest point was that, and if you have been following, you know very well, the only thing that I emphasize is this Fibonacci tool. We know very well if you are selling, you want to sell at premium. So as long as the market has traded to the premium, that is good of me, guys. I don't need, or it's not a must for market to come to my point of entry. As long as the market has traded to the premium, that is definitely enough for me. So the other thing that I want to see is a change of character. I want to see the market giving me intention of changing the direction. That is only confirmation that I want to see for me to get involved in that trend. Are we getting? Because that is a confirmation that the market is now ready and willing to move to the direction that I'm anticipating it to move to. Now, if we go to the 15 minutes time frame, if we go to the 15 minutes time frame, I think I can pull this one to the left. You can see very clearly here, the GBP USD has given us a change of character. You see, we had this low being swept, we had an inducement here, then the market pushed up to break the structure. So this low was strong low. I was not expecting this low to be broken. And if that one happens, that means the market has changed the direction. That is our confirmation, guys. Let me go to that minute. And why am I saying this low is strong? You can see first attempt, market never broke here. It tried to break it, but it just swept liquidity, but never closed below it. Meaning this low was very strong. We had some kind of a support zone down here. Market tried to break it for the first time, failed. Pushed up, but came back and did what? And broke it. So now that means we have our change of character. Now, after this change of character, we can see whenever we have a change of character, guys, or a break of structure, the next idea that should come to your mind is where is the liquidity? Because if you can't see the liquidity, just know you yourself, you are the liquidity. Now I had to ask myself, where can I see the liquidity? And you see here we have a minor inducement. This I here becomes our minor inducement, and that is our liquidity. And then I marked this order block here, the last buy before the sell, as my order block. So now this is what I'm expecting. That is as from tomorrow. I'm expecting to sell from here. Stop loss some few pips above there. Then my first target as usual should come from this low. This should be my first target. And where will be the second target? The second target, if you look down here, this low is also strong because we had an inducement being cleared here. You see here we have a fake break of structure. Then we have an inducement being taken out. Market came also back and swept this low. So this low, after sweeping this low, that makes this low to be strong. Swept liquidity below here and went ahead and changed the character here. So now the order block that will be formed down here, that means it's my strong low. So the next target should either be this liquidity. You should always target liquidity, guys. Well, ask yourself, where is the liquidity? Where is the money? Because market is always hunting for liquidity. You know, market is like a vehicle. You know, for a vehicle to go or for a vehicle to move, it needs a gas, it needs liquidity. So the same thing with the market. Market works with the money or the liquidity. So it needs to hunt for more money for it to be able to move. So this should be your first target as liquidity. Where is the next liquidity? We have this low, we have this low, and then here down here, because we are expecting a reaction from here. This should be your final target, like that. But I'm not expecting you to target this one. So even if you target this low, make sure you have taken out some partials. And for me, I go with 1:3. If I can get 1:3 like that, that will be my target, guys. That will be my target. So that is my bias on the GBP USD. That is my bias on GBP USD. So I'm expecting a sales from here. And if let me tell you something. Market can sweep this low. You see this low here and then push to the downside. If that happens, market can fail to come to this point of interest here. Can decide to sweep this low and then push to break the structure. That means now the high that will be created here, it will be my strong high since it has swept the liquidity. So even if I fail to get a setup here, I will look for the next setup from here, then pushing to the downside. So for now, and as at now, and from what the mark I can see from the chart, my bias is bearish. So I should be looking for sales setups. Unless the bias is changed. Unless the market changes the bias, that is, unless the market breaks this high. And even if the market breaks this high, remember I have this point of interest from the daily. So I'll wait for the market to come here. Then from here, I will look for more sells. That is it on the GBP USD. For now, I don't have any clean setup on Euro USD. I prefer GBP USD. So the next one, I will go to Euro JPY. I'll go to the Euro JPY. Let me use a clean setup, a clean chart, sorry. Okay. Euro JPY, I want to use a wonder. Let me start from 4-hour time frame. This guys was the setup that I was telling you. You see this setup here? This was the trade that we took. You see the full TP was 4.77. So you need to trust your strategy. Just be patient. Be patient, guys. Don't force setup. Always be patient and wait for your setup to show itself. Now, for what I have here, let me go to the daily time frame. You know for the fact that if you look at Euro JPY or the yen pairs, what can you see? We see very clearly that we are bullish. So we are expecting uh, to be bullish on this pair. Let me go to forward time frame. And you can see very clearly, this is our last break of structure here. We have a break of structure at that point. Let me just use this chart that I was using, at least to save time. So we have this break of structure. Market reacted at this support zone here. And you can see we have a break of structure. Now, for these sell trades that we are taking here, these were the counter trades because the bias is bullish. We are bullish, guys. The overall bias is bullish on this pair. And if I look very clearly, the market is reacting from this resistance turning to support. If you look here, we have some kind of resistance which turned to be a support. Resistance turning to be a support. What do I mean by that? Initially here, this was a resistance. When this push was coming to the upside, this was a resistance. So we expected a reaction from here, but market broke it. So we were expecting the market to come and react from this area. When a resistance gets to be broken, it becomes a support. So market came and reacted from this support zone, then pushed to the upside. So again, the market came to this zone and also reacted again. You see? That is on Friday. Markets is showing some rejection from this zone. Although now I have this big gap. If you go to a different broker, you'll find that this is a gap. And I'm still expecting this gap to be closed. I'm expecting this gap to be closed. Let me go to the chart that I was for you to see. You can see very clearly here, guys. We had this new week opening gap, this gap. So I'm still expecting the market to do what? To close this gap. I'm still expecting the market to close this gap. I believe you have seen it. Let me go back to the other broker. So although the market is reacting from here, but I don't expect this zone to hold. I don't expect this zone to hold. I'm expecting the market to break it and at least to fill this gap before pushing to the upside. And as at now, we have a very nice break of structure here. You have a very nice break of structure. Go to 3 hours. Can't see what I wanted to see. We go back. You can see very clearly we have a break of structure here. Then after this break of structure, this is a strong break of structure because if I can just push this one to this side, you can see this eye swept liquidity here. We have a sweep of liquidity within this area. So this eye is a very strong high. But now if you look here from the 1 hour time frame, this area is very choppy. We can't see any good point of interest. So I had to go to 4 hour time frame, and that is where my point of interest came from. You can see very clearly here from the 4 hour time frame, we have this candle here. We have that candle, then we have a small gap here. And below it, we have an inducement. We have this minor inducement below it. But now the problem is this zone is very big, guys. If I have to take a trade from here, how big will be my stop loss? You can see the stop loss will be something to do with the 50 pips. That is a very big stop loss for me. So what I will do, and even the risk to reward will be 2.5, which is not fair for me. So what I'll do, I'll wait for a confirmation within the area, either from 5 minutes time frame or from 15 minutes time frame. And if I get a good change of character, then I will sell from here. So expect the sell from this area. That is my bias on the Euro JPY, sorry. The same to GBP, JPY, I have the same thing. Although now this eye is not that strong because it never swept liquidity here. But now, if I go to 4 hour time frame, I have this order block here. Let me see whether it is visible on 3 hour time frame. Yeah, on the 3 hour time frame, we have a very nice order block here. We have a very nice order block. So what I will like, what I'm expecting you to do is wait for the market to come to this point of interest. Then work with a confirmation, guys. Wait for a good confirmation from either 5 minutes or 15 minutes time frame before you take your sell. So the bias here still is bearish. The bias is bearish. Unless now the market breaks this eye. Unless we see a body closing above this eye, the bias should be bearish. So wait for a confirmation if the market will pull to this area. Guys, I would like to stop at that point. Those are my setups for that week. And if in case I see any changes within the week, I'll be sharing my overviews on my Telegram. So you can, if you want to join, you'll find a link on the description of this video. Then you can join the team. So thank you for watching. Without any other point to put across, I would like to stop at this point. Happy trading week. See you on the next one.